Are you guys here? Are you tired?
Yeah.
No.
No. Who is not tired? Raise your hand. Almost 100. We are not tired, so. Okay, this session is for you. So, because the format of this conference that we almost have very little time for the questions, so we try to have all the questions here. So here I just have 5 questions prepared, not sent to our panelists here, secret for them. So the first thing, I will go ahead with one question, and you, here you can raise the hand and to ask our people here, right? Okay, the first question. Yeah, Mr. Quang. Yeah, I shoot you first.
Thank you.
Yeah, Quang is organized with on here. We are organized for many years, and I remember that one conference 4 years ago, he organized one conference like this, almost this time. And after this conference, he also organized Scrum Coaching retreat, 3 days. So that after the conference, he almost his eye couldn't see anything. Yeah, it's really effort. So, in terms of community, what do you see the difference? Because I know that you also participate with in the clinic, not only speaker clinic, and you see the community here. What do you see the difference this year and previous conference that you organized?
Okay, this is quite interesting question. So first of all, right, I could say I could continue the story that I already told you in the morning about the history of Agile Vietnam community. At first, right, we are we mainly adopting the framework, especially Scrum at that time. And then the recent year, when we have more and more scaling framework, it's like we have SAFe, we have Nexus, we have Slash, many framework, right? But one thing I observed today is a lot of people asking me about problems, right? Problems. Why we need to adopt those framework, right? Is have to fix our problem. But what is the problem? If you don't have a problem, why you need it? So I really love those questions. It's like bring us down to the earth, right? Deal with our problem, right? Even we do perfect Scrum, but at the end, is it a real or is it a fake Scrum, right? But what value it can bring? So that's the difference I could see.
So you see that the maturity is that we are getting the feet on the floor, not just doing some Scrum to be a fancy words like Daniel said, that is to fix our problem or to get our objective right. Yes, thank you. And Daniel, yes, thank you. Thank you for coming back after 10 years to Vietnam.
Yeah, after 10 years came back.
Yes. So, because I know that you have your own company. You do the own innovation with your company, to at least 2 business I know. You do a lot of training from many years, and you go from China to Hong Kong to Taiwan, and now you're living in Tokyo. So, what is the key to release the innovation, especially in product innovation in big company? I know that here there are many people, big corporates. The key to release innovation.
It's a hard question.
Yeah, hard question. So I give it secret surprise for you.
Something, for example, I'll show one example. For example, this is a cup of coffee. So usually, what do you think? What you can do with this coffee? Drink.
Yeah.
What else? Smell. Thank you. So, what else? Color. Thank you. Just back to, we already talked about this. So this is a coffee, but why people think most people think it's for drink or smell? It's because the name implies a function, but actually it has color. It's warm. It's warm means maybe I live in Tokyo. It's cold. I keep myself warm. So actually there are more other functions. I think it's very important to think from kind of very basic of this thing. This is the water. Up there is the temperature, there is color, and able to think in different edges. If I call this edge, different edges of this thing, and try to change, combine, and or eliminate. I think that's very important to think everything from very basic and see the edges and do something differently. That's fine.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone want to add something with this metaphor? Remove the name, yeah, remove the name.
That's actually a tough question. It's a great metaphor. There's something I'd like to add to that process is I would imagine is that you need to have the right condition in which you can think about it creatively and see different dimensions. If I view this from a leadership perspective, there's a role to play here to create an environment where people feel safe, feel that they can experiment and they're comfortable with failure, and that's the fertile ground for innovation.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
So I guess from our perspective, from my perspective, innovation comes because you know your customer. If you're not out there digging into your customer, doing personas, empathy maps, if you're not doing design thinking, you're not going to know your customer. The reason you innovate is to satisfy what you think, what you know your customer wants, what they're telling you. But there's another piece, it's your ability to deliver quickly. So to deliver some test of that, to deliver the full product, right? Full end-to-end product thinking. But you've got to know your customer. That's the important part of innovation. Knowing your customer and delivering.
Okay, thank you. So know our customer. Yes. Yeah. Continue, please.
Sorry, I have more ideas. Actually, I share what I did in my company. I'm doing railway business. I share that. So there are when you my website and there is a messenger, web messenger, and there is a hi Sam. You say hi, this is Sam. What kind of thing? So some actually if you say hi Sam, likely it will be me. It's Daniel answer your question. So I'm the one who interact with real customers, booking railway ticket. I think every developer or every different role, if you got chance to real interact with your customer, and I know coding, and with the capability skill, you can find a lot of innovation areas and make some change. I think that's important. Do the very details, basically solve very small problem continuously.
Here, we want to add something?
Okay, from my perspective, in order to do the innovation thing, okay, first thing is the objective. You need to know exactly what's the problem, as you said, what's the problem to solve. And second thing, innovation can be in many ways. So, for each individual feature, you put a very beautiful metaphor to the cup of coffee. But in order to implement that, I rather ask, in my term, it is by why. You ask 5 levels of why we're doing this. So up to the level that we understand exactly what we are doing and how it contributes to the overall objective, then we can do the innovation.
Juan, you want to add something? No, please no. Okay. So, on the scene, do you want to ask some question? Yes.
Yes, I would want to ask more idea is, as you know that for the children, they are very creative and they have a lot of ideas. So why not we are the adults much knowledge than children, but we do not have much idea like them. So do you think is that the way we can answer how to make it innovative? So because the way of the thinking, and sometimes we need to unlearn and learn the way the children do it, learn the way the children thinking. Yes, I just want to add one more thing like that. And yeah, I have one question for you.
Let me try to answer your question. I don't know, but there's a learning curve. I call it learning curve, where you start from don't know. You don't know what you don't know, until the time that you know what you don't know. Then you know what you know, and up to the stage that you don't know that you know. That's a circle like that. Then going to the next level of don't know. So you said that the children have many creative way of thinking. It is because they already put themselves in the don't know area. So in order to do the innovation or something like that, you need to always keep your mind and keep yourself into the don't know area. So stay in that area, listen to everything, and then you need to find a way that, okay, that will be some innovative idea coming up. So that's how we are doing.
Yes, thank you. And one more thing is keep curious, always curious about the whole world.
Yeah, the curiosity, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have an 18-month-old, you watch her, right? And so an education.
Yes.
So they're not constrained in the way they think. So if you watch them, what they do is they try little experiments and they learn. And then they try another experiment and they learn more. That's what we need to be like. That's what agility is about. Small experiments, learn and grow. Right? It's natural behavior for us, but we educate that out of ourselves. To say, I'm smart enough, I figured out the whole solution, let's build this entire thing before I deploy it. Right? That's just a recipe for disaster. So lots of small experiments, try and learn. That's what kids, they do it well.
Yeah.
We learn from kids.
Thank you.
I want to clarify later, because we talk here two terms, creative and innovation. So I think that we should define what is the difference between creative and innovation. Yes, who can define for me what is the difference between creative and innovation? Because I think here is innovation is we build something valuable. It's valuable, sustainable for the company, for the customer, not only that's some new idea doing the different way. So I'm right? Because people actually when I go outside, because here is local. I'm local guy. So I see most of people still confused between innovation. Innovation is something after we go to the beach and we got some excited idea doing different things, and they think that is innovation. Many people still think like that. So please help me to clarify what is the key difference between creative and innovation. Yes.
So I will say that creativity is a passion. Innovation is how we organize to realize passion. So you want people to be creative and passionate about what they do. When they love what they do, they will want to create new things. Innovation is about enabling them to do those things. Providing the environment, providing the ability to express that. innovation is the front side of looking at passion and creativity. That's the way I look at it.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions?
We can take a shot of it. And apparently, we probably have different perspective on this one. Like, the way I see it, creativity feels to me, and just to me personally, as a spark of a moment where you come up with something extraordinary or something unusual, but in a good way. And that creativity, and that's why sometimes you find yourself, if you are in the zone, if you are drinking coffee in a nice winter or autumn now morning, right? Some nice idea came to you, right? And that's to me it feels like a creativity moment. Now innovation to me is a process, something that you have a framework, you're going through that methodically. And it's guaranteed that you always make some progress, right? The collections of that progress, step by step, might lead you to somewhere, and that somewhere could be a really, really different product and solutions. Probably it just lead you to where you just reconfirm what you already know. The innovations, to me, is the process.
So it seems to me that the innovation here is a little contrast with the idea that the innovation requires, in this case, require a lot of discipline to go through this working process, right?
Yes, I would add discipline to the equations, right? You're going through process. You have the discipline to look at things critically, evaluate different outcomes. You have the stage where you build, you have the stage where you test, and then you learn from it. So there's a discipline element of it. But it's the repeatable formula, right? A really nice spark of the moments where you come up with genius idea. I don't know how they come about, but I would trust a repeatable formula more. Probably my engineering background did that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
I could add a little bit. So for me, innovation is like you explore what you don't know, and you can do. You actually can do, but you don't know, and you have to build the process, have you build the framework to be able to do that. And it's like to find your unknown.
Okay, they go higher. Okay, what? Any question? If you raise your hand, you have a question more? Okay, if you don't, I have with my questions. Here we talk about the, so when we talk about transformation, or you talk about enable the innovation, it requires a lot of facilitation to create the environment to build creativity or autonomy or engagement. But when we talk, talking about in EXCO from the CEO, for example, it's much maybe easier for us that how we can create or dynamic, or we can set the way of work very freely. But my question is, if we are not the CEO, as I know that here we do not have a CEO of big organization here. Mostly we are in the middle. Most people here, we are in the middle. Here he is the CIO, but still behind the CEO, right? So, what is the key to get the leadership engagement to the way we in the middle? How we can get the leadership engagement from outside, from bottom up? From Mr. Hill, and how to deal with that?
It's a tough question.
Very hard question. How you can get the engagement of your boss?
Okay, so I can share the experience of myself for the two I have to say that's the two completely opposite sides. One is well-structured, it's a bank, and another one is a fintech company. So in a fintech company, in our organization culture, it is very, very open, where everyone is open, contribute to the common object, the common objective of the organization. So we set an objective, it's a breakthrough objective, and everyone contribute to the breakthrough objective. CEO is only given the enrollment. So he enrolled everyone into the objective. The implementation, setting all of the positive milestone and so on and so forth will be done by the working team together. And if we miss something, we have the methodology and an organization culture in order to do the breakdown to breakthrough analysis. So based on that one, we will keep everyone back in track. So in some case, the CEO will have a very, very little influence to the team, but he gives the enrollment. He encourages every single people follow the single target of the company. And we have a mechanism for everyone to be enrolled. So that is how the feedback is doing. It is a small to medium-sized organization.
Yeah, this is the way your company is working right now, right?
Yeah, that's how our company is working right now. So on the other side of the world, where we have a very well-structured hierarchy organization, like in the bank, I have to say a very big bank. So it is up to the middle management how to set the goal for the team. For myself, let's say, I set the goal very clear for the team. I want to achieve this by the end of the year, or I want to achieve this by the end of the quarter. This is a key objective. How we can achieve that. And then it is my responsibility to communicate that one to all of the board of directors as well as for all of the stakeholders from the business. So of course there's an alignment with the high level plan from the organization, because in the big bank like that, everyone have a KPI and have a plan from the very beginning of the year. You need to align that one, but you are the one to influence and to enroll all of your team members, not the CEO or not the board of director or board whoever. It is your responsibility to keep the people enrolled and keep them motivated to the same topic. That's how I'm doing it. Big corporation. And the rest of the trouble will be on my side. Where to communicate, where to alignment, get enrollment from all of the party. That's it.
Okay, Daniel, from house. Yeah.
So to answer this question, I could use one word: transparency. Okay, and how I bring transparency to the management about the organization. So one technique I usually use is organizational impediment backlog. It's a Kanban board. It's a physical Kanban board.
Really?
Yeah. It's very big post-it note. It's not a small normal size. It's very big. Yeah. And we paste over there, and all of the middle manager standing around, talking around that once a week. It's attract people, attracting the attention of management. And people will pass by, read it, where is it? And yeah, your boss will call you to his room.
After many months, how many months you get fired?
That's a tricky question. Yeah, but yeah. So no manager want to have problem in his company. That's the truth that I feel. Okay, it's just that he doesn't know his existence. So if you show what's the problem you're dealing with, and I'm sure you will get support from the management.
I'm thinking of two rules in my company. One rule is called skin in the game. What skin in the game means, for middle-level manager, every day, every month you get fixed salary. So why you make a change and the impact the company, how about the experience? Why you say takes the same salary from company? So it's not fair. It's not fair for the company. So what I do in my company, it's not a big company yet. So what I do is, if I want to make some change, I take the risk. I pay for the risk. I pay with my money, with my time, with my brain power to take the risk, help my company change. If I pay the money, I don't need to convince other people, another stakeholder. Certainly, I still keep my KPI. That's 100%. I still, but I use my spare time, my extra money to do this. And second rule, show don't tell. So what I do is, I don't tell them, or I just briefly tell what I'm doing, but I don't tell them because I take risk anyway. But I show them result. And then sometimes failure, but most time they will see the difference. Just like the build. Remember the build 2.8 seconds. Once the other, GE is a huge organization. X-ray is only 1 million Chinese RMB, maybe 115,000 US dollar. That machine. But how about for their other big machines? So for GE, this is a small machine. But once the other manager, the top manager see, they can shorten the build from 20 hours to 2.8. Can they do something similar for other machines too? At least we prove it works. It's working for something similar already. So don't tell, take the risk. That's what my idea.
Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you, Daniel. That's give me some idea. If I may return to the questions a little bit and contextualize it. So today in the conference we're talking about agile transformations, and this typically mean large organizations. And I would acknowledge that the challenges that most of us at some point face is, well, we don't really have the awareness and the support from the top. Right? And we kind of experiment bottoms up, and when you face challenges, you can't make changes happen fast enough. You can't remove what we acknowledge as organizational impediment. So what to do, right? And I reflect on that as we discuss different options, and think it's probably our duty. And I'm saying this with the assumption that our duty means we are the change agents in an organization. We are agile coaches, or Scrum Master. We are the people who meant to drive this change. Right? And it's our duty to communicate. And it's a simple thought like that. But then I realized that how many of us dare to talk to the top leader of the organization, the CEO, right? Let's talk to him. I would go for a little bit extra steps from what you suggest. So you surface, you have transparency to surface the problem, and hopefully someday someone will look at it. But how about walk into the room of the office of CEO and have a well prepared, of course, business case around Agile and what it need to be, what the organization need to make a successful transformation. Has anyone tried to do that? Right? And because often I guess we look around and see that that's him gonna do that. That's him gonna do that. It's probably me. If you take that stance, probably you put your hands up, you build a decent business case, you come talk to the top leader. And I would agree with Kwang saying that most top leaders loved to hear the challenges from the ground, because most of the time people is too scared to talk about it, right? And to reflect a little bit on Techcombank's story, I think we've been very fortunate today to really have the strong support. But that support didn't come from nowhere. Right? There must have been generations of Agile coaches, Scrum Master, Agile leader who have lobbied over the years, and now everyone thinks, well, we got to do it. There's no question why we need to do it. It's just a matter of figure out how to do it. Right? So when I summarize my point is, at some point, the tough conversation need to happen. Maybe people in this room are the one who need to have that conversation. Yeah.
So of course I have an opinion on this. Leadership care about one thing, they care about outcomes, right? So if you want leadership to engage, you have to show them a path to better outcomes. They know the challenges they have. What they don't make the connection to is the current way of working, is why they're not getting the outcomes they're looking for. So if you want leadership and senior leadership like that to engage, you've got to be able to talk about how you're going to change to create better outcomes, and not just team level, right? We're talking organizational level outcomes. Faster time to market, higher quality, improvements to customer satisfaction. Those are the things that drive their market position. That's what they want. Their ability to create an organization that can adapt quickly to a changing environment. Right? CVS, one of our customers, when the pandemic hit, pivoted really, really quickly to change the way they managed healthcare for their customers. Right? So they knew a long time ago that they had to create that environment to be able to do that. So their management understood a long time ago that if they were to survive in the future, they had to create an environment for different outcomes. And that proved really valuable to them in the middle of all that. So too many organizations just go ahead and implement agility in the hope that it will lead to something. If you can't answer the question of why and what that's supposed to do for the organization, then you should be questioning why you're doing it.
I have to share something. The way that personally I do because I'm always external coach, external consultant. So when I want to do with a corporation, the way I do two things. The first one is take this. I usually need to find some guy in the middle who really want to take risk to make something happen. And very fast after, when I find that those guys make something happen in that organization, I go, like I mentioned you, I go with the CEO, or at least the vice CEO, to talk with some proposal, something, how can spread those things. So next time if you see me go to your company with to find, so I usually it's just two things. The first thing is find in my term is in my some Don Quixote, who really want to take risks to change the organization, and another way is how I can get the connection with the CEO. Two things, just two things, no more. Okay, so any question more? Yes, the lady, yeah.
Hello, everyone. First, I'm Hiền Nguyễn, and I'm a senior software product scrum manager at Fortnite, which is a US-based company working in the warehousing industry. So first of all, I'd like to say big thanks to all of you. It will be addressing Mr. Quang Nguyen and Gerard Hayden. I'm sorry if I pronounce your name correctly. Okay. I'm sorry that I couldn't join your session. Because at that time I prefer Mr. Wu. Okay. Yeah. Today. Okay.
I'm not sure how to take that, but okay.
Yeah. Okay. So because walking through your profile, I see that you are now working as a really trained engineer in your organization. So I'm really curious, and I want to listen more about your story and the top challenges playing as a role really trained engineer in the Scale Agile framework that you are applying in your company. And for Jira, that if you can add in some more from the coaching standpoint, because you are also SBCT and you also provide lots of coaching for the enterprise in terms of Scale Agile framework. So, because to be honest, I'm also an RTE, and I really, really want to hear about the top challenges, your story about sharing about this position, because I did not find much RTE in Vietnam to share about this. Okay, thank you very much in advance.
I'm not RTE. I'm not RTE.
Yeah. I think the question posed for me is a scary question. It's really scary. Okay, why? I think who was in my session in the morning? Oh, 1, 2, 3. Do you remember what I said? Okay.
Remember his name.
Okay, so meanwhile, right, I take the role of really trained engineer. I'm also a certified expert in Agile coaching. So, and right now I do more Agile coaching. So one of the role of RTE is coaching, where a lot of people don't see. So when talking about Agile coaching, we have 4 different competencies, right? Teaching, mentoring, coaching, and facilitating. Where most of the people see the RTE or the Scrum Master only do facilitation, right? And maybe training sometime, right? Or maybe mentoring, when you have the team, you provide some answer to the team. But very rare you see an RTE or Scrum Master doing coaching, asking powerful questions, enable your team to resolve the problem by themselves, instead of without spoon-feed them with the answer. Right? So I think it's related, and so this morning, I just say one statement for myself. I'm not a big fan of SAFe. Why? Why? Okay. So I think it's I found the same idea everywhere today, right? So the answer from Cherry, also from Daniel here is actually quite similar. So I found the transformation. We have 2 different approaches, 2 different main approaches. The first one is get the framework, right? Move the people. Try to get your people adopting the framework, following the framework, right? And where it does case, you may have a lot of trouble, right? So in one of my clients before, I said, when I come in, as I introduce myself, I'm Agile coach. Another one. So a lot of organizations, especially big organizations, Agile become a bad word. Somebody don't want to hear about Agile anymore. Okay. So the second approach, I could say maybe it's safer, that is based on the problem that you're dealing with, right? And do inspect and adapt, right? And from there, bit by bit, will move you. And someday you will not realize that you're practicing perfect the framework, right? So I do both. In my story, when I joined FedEx, they already have the framework there, but people, it's just another process. People say, just another process. I'm dealing with some people working with the company is like 30 years, 40 years, right? Where I'm only 28 plus, right? So it's very challenging for me, right? So we need to find another one. And when I I try to install, I try to bring in the coaching culture, right? People feel more safe. It's like Lam saying, it need to create a safe environment for people to experience, to make mistake and to learn from mistake.
So it's all good points. But I heard you mention the word safe many times as you talk. We created it for that purpose. No. So two questions to address. First, I'm going to address some of the popularity questions, and then I want to address the coaching question that you asked. So I think frameworks are not bad, whether it's safe, less, Scrum Scale, Scrum, whatever. Frameworks are not bad. It's the experience you get from poor implementations that's bad. The reason why the organization adopted it, the poor approach to implementing it, we get our fair share of criticism. Believe me, we do. Right? But when I look into read some of those criticisms, people are not trained in the product. They're not trained in safe. They've never been out there implementing. Or they have been, and they've just been on a very poor implementation. So they get a bad experience, and then people blame the product. If you crash your car at 90 miles an hour, it's not the car's fault. It's you, the driver. Right? So frameworks are not bad. They can all be effective if they're used appropriately. There was an earlier question asked, why do we have frameworks? Because you don't want to reinvent the wheel. These frameworks, regardless of which one you're looking at, are bodies of knowledge based on real people's experiences and pulled together. Right? So I've had too many organizations like, we're going to pick a piece of that, a piece of that, a piece of that, and we're going to do our own thing. Right? They're reinventing the wheel. So they just take an anemic approach to frameworks because of that. So yeah, safe gets criticisms, but it is a powerful framework, right? But if you, like any framework, implement it wrong, which a lot of them do. Sometimes people go through their third safe transformation because they finally figured out we didn't do it right in the first place. If you're adopting the framework, and that's the reason why you took it into the organization to adopt the framework, but there's no bigger cause to get the business agility or to change the organization, then you're not going to have successful adoption. You're not going to change leadership. Right? I trained quite a few of the people at FedEx in Singapore. Right? I had large teams there. Robert, you might know Robert Booster, right? So I'm gonna send your name to him. But the point about this is that all of our partners, we've seen them struggle in places, and when we go look at what they do, they missed important points along the way, right? In terms of the adoption. One of the important points that organizations need to get a hold of, and this addresses the coaching question, we have a certification called Safe Program Consultant, SPC. And we have other certifications, Release Train Engineer. They are very different in their intended purpose. Release Train Engineers work on Agile release trains from an executional day-to-day standpoint. They're there to keep the train running, manage impediments, make the train successful. Safe Program Consultants are there to transform the organization. The certification you have is about transforming the organization. So if you start a transformation and you send 20 people off to an SPC course, and then you expect them to come back and run the transformation, you're going to fail because they have no experience. Every time I teach a training course, I tell my students, you have knowledge, but you don't have understanding. Your job is to leave here and gain understanding on how to apply this knowledge. As I was saying in my seminar earlier, you need to find experienced people who can guide and grow those people. There's nothing worse than coming out of a training course and then being told to go and do something you have no experience in doing. It's just a recipe for disaster. Right? Same with a release train engineer. I train you as a Scrum Master, and then tomorrow you're a release train engineer. Great, what do I do? Right? So you need someone coaching. And that's the other thing, is when you put people on there, SPCs need to be coached, just like every other role does. So it's pretty important to understand the difference between those two roles. Everybody wants to train SPCs and put them on the train. That's not their job. Their job is to launch Agile release trains and change the organization. That's what we train them for. Does that answer your question?
Can I say something after that?
Yeah, yes. 1 minute you have, because I need to finish.
Okay, thanks for your questions. It's up to you to answer.